Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Binford Chronicles. I'm Joanne Binford, and today we were going to have Chris Quaglin on. He's a J6er, but I want you to understand something. These guys are living a life day to day, trying to build their life back together. It touches me in the heart. They're traveling. Some of them are living out of their cars. When their cars break down, then what? There are a lot of people out there that are trying to help them. They do run into people, but I want you to take a minute and just think how hard life is for some of these J6ers. I mean, it's like a huge roller coaster. You're going up and you're going down. Your life has literally been ripped out of your life. Your life is totally torn apart. I'm going to try to hook up with Chris tomorrow. His day has been unpredictable. I wanted to show you his Give, Send, Go page so that you can help him out. He also has a separate tour page because he's doing a tour. He's out there fighting prison reform after everything that he went through, and he really has a compelling story that I want to share with you all. Life is hard. Life is really hard. And we have some really hardened criminals out there that deserve some kind of treatment. But when they went into the prisons, they saw a lot of things that were very inhumane. And people that were in that situation, put in that prison, that really shouldn't have been receiving those types of sentences, kind of like our J6 people. Some of them never even committed a crime in their entire life, and they were put in this. Moms were put in prisons that had children, that were grandmothers, that have never committed a crime in their life, that have been good law-abiding citizens all their lives, and all they wanted to do is go to the Capitol and express their speech, their right to say, hey, we want you guys to look at what's going on. And we've seen a lot over the Biden administration, all throughout Trump's first term, and a lot of things have come to light. And that's why this election just was an enormous win for Trump. A lot of things were exposed, and we're still seeing a lot of things exposed. And there's just so much corruption and so much to be exposed that some people just think it's oligarchy, and it's not. What it is we have a debt ceiling that is so high, and when you find out why it's so high, you're trying to let the people know, and you're trying to fix it in some shape, form, or manner. But anyway, I want you to know that Chris Quaglin had every intention of coming on today. His day is just very unpredictable, and that's what happens when your life is ripped out right from under your feet. So we're going to try to hook up tomorrow, but stay on board. I wanted to show you a few things. We're going to take a small commercial break, and then we'll take you to a few of his pages and see how you can help and donate. I'll even show you the map of his tour and maybe some things that were going on. So stick around. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Oh, you know what? My commercial break isn't there because I had to reset this. So hang on, guys. We'll be right there. We just have to do things a little differently right now.
Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more.
All right, guys, that was a small little commercial of the Indian River Connections. If you go to that, that's partnered with myself, Binford Chronicles, To The Point Podcast, and TGI Now. There's actually 4 partners together, and we do a lot of things. We also have the board report every Friday at 7 p.m. and we have the Connecting Peoples and Places podcast that's brand new, and that's for businesses. We're going to spotlight some businesses, and we want to connect our local community with some really great quality businesses. So keep that in mind. Indian River Connections, you see it right down there, indianriverconnections.com. So let's move on to Chris Quaglin. I really want to turn you on to his page. This is his Give, Send, Go page. If you go to givesendgo.com, Persecuted Patriot, and that is for Chris Quaglin. And I'm going to show you another page. This is his tour page. And if you take a look at this tour page, these are all the spots where he wants to go. His truck, that's where he actually is. I just spoke to him today. He is in New Jersey, and his truck is being repaired. He's run into some financial heartaches because, cars are very expensive. He's got a nice big truck that he travels in, and he's going to follow these trips all the way around. So he's on his way towards Florida. I'm hoping to catch him when he gets to Florida. And what I wanted to also show you is a little bit about this page. If you go to this page, you hit the home button. It's going to take you here, www.j6tour.com, support and receive. We love donations, but we prefer to give back. When you support our mission, donate $50 and receive a J6 Tour shirt or a J6 Tour flag. Donate $90 and get both. And this is Chris's page, and you can see all the really cool stuff on this page. And it helps support. You could put the flag on your truck. You see you've got a flag there if you want to support your J6ers. I know it's tough times. People are just tearing up everybody's vehicle for their choices. The First Amendment, some people are not honoring that. So you can see all the stuff that he's got on his page right here. And remember, if you just like giving directly to the Patriot, you can go to their Give, Send, Go page. And the Give, Send, Go page is Give, Send, Go. As you can see right here, I have it down here, givesendgo.com, Persecuted Patriot. That's givesendgo.com, Persecuted Patriot. And for his tour, it is j6tour.com. That's j6tour.com. I wanted you also to listen to him at one event that he went and spoke at. So let's take a minute and do that with him, for him.
My name is Chris Quaglin. Not only a pardoned January 6er, I'm now a non-felon. I was here for about a year. On October 4th, I wrote this. I've been to 7 jails in 11 months. Jail number 7 has been by far the worst yet. From rats and mice to roaches and food, to guards beating on inmates, to superintendent and a captain who think they make up their own rules and there are no such things as prisoner rights or human rights. I have been treated like a guinea pig by medical personnel who don't know what they're doing. I've been in constant battle with Superintendent Ted Hull since day one regarding my need for gluten-free food. Ted Hull says he can provide me with certified gluten-free, he will not provide me with certified gluten-free food. To date, I'm down 50 pounds since my arrival at Northern Neck. He openly stated I didn't have celiac, even though I was diagnosed 25 years ago. My beginning was at 12/20/21. Arrival at Northern Neck Jail, I told everyone upon entry that I had celiac disease. I needed a gluten-free diet. I was ignored by everyone. No COVID-19 quarantine, which was a federal mandate. COVID-19 was rampant through the 80-person J-pod. I became sick after the 3rd day. For 6 days, I was given no special diet, so I couldn't eat anything. On the 6th day, I was given 2 insured drinks, which was, I was told, one for lunch and one for dinner. Merry Christmas. The 7th day was the first real food. I had now been given 1,000 calories in 7 days. I also never received a cup for water, so I had to use my hands to drink water because there were no water fountains. Upon arrival, I was given one small bar of soap for 2 weeks. The bar lasted for 3 days. I was refused a second one. By the 7th day, I'm down 10 pounds. I called a lawyer who then included a reporter from the Epic Times in the call. The next day I tested positive for COVID-19. I was told that there would be no lockdown if I tested positive. I was immediately moved to OPOD and locked down 24/7. There were no phone for 9 days. It was taken from me by Superintendent Ted Holt. I later found that out because I talked to a reporter. That means that NNRJ openly admits to not only listening to my lawyer calls, but punishing me for what was said during a lawyer-client confidential call. I still received no soap, and I continued to be locked down for 24 hours during 4 days. I demanded to speak to a supervisor. It's now 2 weeks, and I'm down 20 pounds. Write-up on number 1 was because I demanded to speak to a supervisor, and I was told, quote, I don't have the right to speak to a supervisor just because I want to. COVID-19 lockdown ended. I am now down 30 pounds in 21 days. I needed to be moved to a disciplinary pod. I have everything documented for the past year. This is only the first 21 days. I told everyone for a year that this day would come and I would be speaking to all of you as a free man. That day is today. I am furious at the inhumane conditions I saw at Northern Neck Regional Jail. Not just me, but for everybody. I told you that eventually the FBI would be questioning every single one of you, and that day will come. They're going to give you one chance to cooperate, just like they gave me. To cooperate and give up a bigger fish like the DOJ or the U.S. Marshals. I strongly suggest that you take it, because cops are not built to be on the other side of those bars. Thank you.
What's going on, guys? This is a big announcement. Please watch it in full. You know that I'm doing the J6 tour to talk about government overreach and jail violence. Well, I had no idea that this was going to happen this quickly, but there is a bill that just passed the House and the Senate in Virginia. It's HB2105. It's the Regional Correctional Facilities Investigation of Acts of Violence. It already passed the House and the Senate. It's off to Governor Youngkin's office as we speak. What it says, in short, is that the jail superintendents have to report violence to the primary local law enforcement agency of that jurisdiction, which means the sheriffs. And if they can't go to the sheriffs, then they have to go to the state police. This could be inmate on inmate, and it also goes staff on inmate. This is huge. Everything that happened to me, I should have been able to go straight to the sheriffs, and I did. They wouldn't listen. Everything, we brought it to the FBI. And I'm telling you right now, Northern Neck Regional Jail, when the FBI comes knocking, because they are going to be coming knocking, you better cooperate with them. Because like I said before, cops aren't meant to be on the other side of those bars. Guys, please go to j6tour.com to pick up some swag and some flags. That's the only thing that's going to keep this tour going. We're going across country. We're talking about government overreach, and we're also talking about jail or corrections in the jail. President Trump, I am asking officially to be part of the BOP board or something. I don't know. Find a spot for me. I can do a lot of good. Thank you.
This he's incredible. He is struggling. We need him to get his life back, but he's doing good things. He's going across country. As you saw, the J6 tour, the map, I'll pull that back up for you to see the J6 tour map. And he's traveling. He's right here now in Virginia, and you can see the arrows go south, then west, then north, then back up. He'll be back up in New York and Michigan in those areas there. But if you could please help Chris Quaglin, this would be the best place to donate. Um, and I'm just saying that because a lot of people don't want to buy a t-shirt. But if you can donate, it'll go into his account, and he can fix his truck, get the funds that he needs to fix his truck, get back on the road, and start talking about that prison reform and explaining, celiac disease is very similar to when I was talking to Chris last week, talking to him about what's gone on and what he experienced. He mentioned that in the prison, if his food touched, if their hands had anything on it from the food that had gluten in it, and it touched his food, and it wasn't in that food, but it touched it, kind of like peanut butter. When people have an allergy to peanut butter, if you even touch them with your hand that had peanut butter, they can get a reaction to that. And celiac is very similar. I'm not an expert on celiac disease, but I did have a friend who had a brother, and my friend lived here, but his brother lived in, was it Texas? I think it was Texas. His brother lived in Texas, and his brother passed away from celiac disease. So it's not something that you should be able to take lightly. And in prison, if somebody does have celiac disease, you should be handling that food carefully, but they don't know how to do that. And as you heard, in 21 days, Chris lost 31 pounds. That's a lot of weight to lose. And the conditions that you heard him talk about were horrendous. And if you talk to a lot of the J6ers that were in the gulag, it is terrible, and their stories are very sad. And if you've seen any of the J6ers that I've interviewed, they're wonderful people. They're no different than me, than myself. I supported Trump. I also believe that the 2020 election was stolen. I'm aware now of all the things that they're finding, and I'm happy that they're finding them. I do want to see the results of those fines, kind of like with the Social Security, people receiving Social Security at 150 years old or 200 years old. I want to hear the case where they went to that house and tracked that check and shut it down, and somebody was made accountable for cashing that check. That's what I want to hear. I just don't want to hear the numbers. I want to hear the results, the accountability that happens once we find the corruption. But there's a lot of corruption that went on here with the people that went to the Capitol. I went to Washington, D.C. I was a volunteer. I volunteered at the lines. It was freezing there. It was too cold for me to walk to the Capitol. I went right back to the hotel after standing from 6 in the morning to the evening, to the late afternoon. What was it, like 12:10 or 12:30 when we left the rally that Trump was talking at? We were frozen to the bone, and there was a lot of elderly people there that came up in big buses. So there was a lot of regular people like you and me there, and these guys, nobody went there to bust in the Capitol. There were some people that did that, and when you're in a huge group like that, if you've seen any of the videos, it's a crowd, so you can't really move anywhere, and the crowd doesn't know what's going on. Sometimes you get pushed in a direction and you just keep going in that direction. So there's a lot of different things that happen and emotions that happen, but that crowd was not violent at all. When you see I have a shot in there that we'll show you tomorrow where the 7 bullets make the 7 head, the bullets make the 7 head counts. People aren't freaking out and jumping and hitting the floor. They're kind of standing there like, what just hit me? What just happened? They were not a violent crowd. And I really I have to stress, please help Chris. His truck is down. He needs to get his truck. He'll be sleeping in his truck on his travels. He needs that truck. He needs his wheels. He needs to get out there and talk about the things that happened, to make us aware, to change, to make reform. That was a great bill, the HB 125, I think it was, that was passing in Virginia. That's for inmate reform. So good things are happening, but these guys are on a roller coaster life. And, you know, while we're sitting here in our houses and having a barbecue, these guys are struggling to put their life together. And I'm not gonna forget him like that. So please, I'm gonna put his page back up. This is his page. It's Give, Send, Go. We'll put his Give, Send, Go up there so you can see that. GiveSendGo.com/persecuted patriot. That's GiveSendGo.com/persecuted patriot. And if you do want to follow him on the tour, and if you do want to get a tour shirt, go to j6tour.com, j6tour.com. And I'm going to keep it short today. We're going to try to hook up with him tomorrow. He's on the road. So he's you know, he's got to either pay for hotels, sleep in his truck, or stay with supporters like myself, you know, stay with people that will give him a place to stay at. This is a hard road, guys. This is not an easy task that Chris Quaglin is doing. And I want him to remember and know that when he's at the top of the roller coaster, we're there for him. And when his roller coaster seems like it's heading down fast and furious, we're still there for him. So please remember to write this down. We've got his Give, Send, Go page at givesendgo.com/persecuted patriot. And if you want to look at that map again or purchase one of the J6 Tour shirts, j6tour.com. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. And thank you for visiting. Remember, tomorrow, I'm going to try to set it up with him at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I have some things going on earlier, but I'm still going to try to squeeze him in because I really want him to share his story. I'm a local podcast, and I want our local people to be involved and to know what's going on, because we have a really great county here. We're all patriots. We're pretty much America First patriots. And we have a lot of respect for those that had the cojones to go up there and to make the travel, you know, and say, yeah, I'm going to let you know that I disagree with what happened. And I think that you should see all the voices, see the sea of glory, which is what it was. If you went to DC, it was a sea of glory. Everybody was beautiful to one another. They were happy. It was colorful, red and blue and white. Everybody was there in really good spirits. And that's what I hope that people remember. I know everybody wants to smear J6, but everybody was there with a patriotic heart and soul. What went wrong? Could have went even more wrong. If look at the BLM riots, nobody burned any buildings down. People stopped in restaurants and ate. No cop cars were burnt down. The violence really started with the Metropolitan Police. They should have never been firing into the crowd, and they had all of the pepper spray. Some people that did bring pepper spray, that's because everybody was being warned about a certain area in DC where BLM and Antifa were at. So those people, if they brought pepper spray, that's why they brought it. And I'm telling you from a person who knows, because I was there. I went there. I didn't go to the Capitol, but I did go to the rally. And when you were volunteering to help at the rally, that's what they told you. They literally sent you an email and said, don't go this way, stay away from there, come this way. And so a lot of people were there in good spirits. They were in America First spirits. So guys, look out for subscribe. So if I get on tomorrow with Chris Quaglin, you'll know that I'm getting ready to go live. And if I don't, I'll try to set it up according to his schedule and how he's able to do things. Because right now, his life is unpredictable, minute by minute. And I have to be flexible for him so that I can bring him to you and you guys can hear it straight out of the mouth of the babes, the mouth of the J6er, Chris Quaglin, and all the good things that he's doing. And our support is going to keep his spirits up and help him to achieve what needs to be achieved, and that is prison reform. Good night, everybody. Have a good weekend. And remember, hit subscribe so that when I go live, you'll get it.